Alright, so here we go. I never really did like this Blazer grill. It was better than what was in there. But I had got the headlights and stuff out of the junkyard, out of the pick and pull. And I think I ordered the grill brand new. And it came to me cracked, but not here. And that's cracked all the way through. It was cracked in other places in shipping. I don't know why or how, but it was. And this light isn't exactly secure anymore. So got me a nice one, and this is the grill that I like the best, always have for the S10s. It's the actual GMC grill. So I've got that and a pair of new headlights, because the new ones really don't cost that much. So hindsight, I look at it, even though I only got those for like 10 bucks or something like that, it's not that much more relatively to actually go get a set of ones fresh. And those look dark because they were tinted. I tinted them, and then I clear coated them. And they've held up pretty well. They stayed pretty clean. That clear coat that I use, do I have it here? I do. This automotive enamel clear coat actually works pretty well, because you can tell, you can see the fade line in between here and here. That versus what I did a year ago, same color, same smoke gray, and what it is 4 or 5 years later. I'm not sure exactly when. I'd have to go back and look at my videos, but it's around 4 years later. So about 4 years in the sun, it will fade that much without a clear coat, without any other protection. So that's what you can expect out of rattle can. I mean, because that's what it looked like when it was brand new, nice and shiny and everything after I just painted it. I'm not worried about clear coating anything, so don't even ask. The Rust-Oleum is not intended to be permanent. It's not my permanent solution at all. What the Rust-Oleum is meant to do is just to keep it looking clean until I actually get to my permanent solution. But for now, let's get into the grill. Let's take care of that. So things to remove, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts there. And you've got 1, 2 more bolts in there. I was trying to remember. I think everything else in there, I can't get past these lights, I'm going to have to remove my lights, but everything else in there is going to be clips. So that's one of the things I'm going to have to salvage off of this grill, is the clips for that. Because I remember I put new plastics in there when I did it, which, you know, after this is a 94 S10, after that many years, that definitely was messed up. And so I should be good to go for getting this on, as long as I salvage my clips off of this. You can remove this, and it's just those little pull things that come out, but I don't know that that's actually necessary for just pulling this grill off. Again, I'm not sure how much of these lights I have to remove or not. Tempted to fire up the welder and plug up that hole. That hole is where all this crap is coming from. So evidently sitting outside in the winter all winter long, this tube fills with water, and so the rusty, muddy junk comes out of that little bubbling hole. So I may or may not do that, because I do intend on replacing this bumper, but that's besides the point right now. So let's get into this. Alright, so you see that? You got these little things just like the full size. So they come in here and here. You pull those out and you can pull the whole bulb assembly out. This backing bracket right here So dark. But this whole bracket right here, it might be able to stay. It might be the same for these lights. We'll figure that out. So I started pulling it off on this side. Probably shouldn't. There's only 4 bolts to hold it on. So I'll put those bolts back on. And then, oddly enough, that one's loose. Why is that loose? I'll tighten them all back up, but that might be okay. If that fits, then that makes it easier. I was looking at why this one's broken. But yeah, that whole piece down there, yeah, you can see how that one looks versus how this one looks. Looks like I jerry-rigged it together somehow to keep it relatively in place, but something was wrong with it. Either way, they're going bye-bye. You can tell they're, you know, marked as junkyards. Oh, also note that, yeah, I do have my aux beam lights in here. So I'll be pulling those out, and I did have to cut this a little bit in here to get those in. This one fit neatly enough. We'll see how the new lights actually look and work. Hopefully I don't have to do that. And that was one of the reasons, because the S10 itself comes with a sealed, you know, 5x, she's a small one, like a 3x5, little tiny freaking headlight that was just anemic at best. And these gave me actual full-on LED bulbs with a high beam and a low beam, whichever way it was. And that was one of the reasons to upgrading like this. And it was kind of one of those things where I was in the junkyard looking for stuff, and I found these headlights intact, mostly, because obviously that one's got problems. And I pulled the headlights, the brackets, I pulled all of it off of the junkyard for 10, 15, 20 bucks, whatever I paid for it. I mean, you never pay much for stuff in pick and pull anyhow. Look how pretty they are, all beautiful and clean. I seriously think before I put them in... Oh, you think so, baby? I think she agrees. I think I do want to actually scuff them up a little bit and put clear coat on them so they stay this clean. Because you know they won't. We're up here in high altitude, Salt Lake County. They'll fade. But if I put the clear coat on them, they might actually stay this good. So I may take the time to do that right now. I'm in no real rush here. I'm sure my wife would like her parking space back, but I want to get this done right. So I've got the clear. I've got all the tools. I think I will. I think I will actually clear coat these. And there's another thing to point out. You buy these things from Eagle Eyes, and they're not expensive at all. You look at that. They come fully loaded with bulbs. The only one you're missing is the side marker light's not in there. That's simple though. But it has the bulbs. I mean, everything you got. I was like 40 bucks a pair for these. So yeah, and it's got the brackets. It's got everything you need. So I can, if I want, pull those ones totally off. I might not, because I refreshed those things with rusty metal primer and bed liner. These look to just be black. I don't know if that's EDPM. That coating's probably not going to survive as well as that. And since those are already in place, I'll probably just detach this from the brackets, throw the brackets on the shelf somewhere. But yeah, really good lights. I mean, you can spend all kinds of time trying to refresh your stuff, or you can just buy these things. I mean, yeah, everybody on the internet's shown how to actually refresh old lights if you're dealing with ones like these that are old and faded. It takes a lot of sanding. So why not just buy these things for 40 bucks, whatever it was that I paid? Alright, there's a whole lot of you that do listen to the words that come out of my mouth when I'm making these videos, and we end up having a very good exchange of ideas. and methods and techniques, which is this is the medium I like doing that in. I'm not a forum kind of guy. I don't go reading the forums for hours on end, but doing videos and talking about what I'm doing and responding through comments and all of that kind of stuff, that's kind of how I like to do it. I like watching your videos, seeing what you're doing, and asking questions, getting ideas from you, and I like giving my ideas out and hearing your responses. I love all that. But for you out there who don't listen, and before you go all keyboard cowboy on me, let me head you off at the pass. If you didn't listen to why I just did this to a brand new set of headlights, rewind the video, go back and listen. Show a little bit of common courtesy, show a little bit of actual ability to pay attention. Yes, baby, the phone's ringing. Show a little bit of ability to pay attention, and you'll see why I'm doing this. So, again, to review for those who did listen, brand new, looked beautiful, looked clean, yep, and I just scuffed the heck out of them, right? Because I live up at high altitude. I'm at 4,500 feet where I sit right now. High altitude sun in the desert, Salt Lake County, it's what it is. If I leave these on the truck as they are, they will look pretty for a year if I'm lucky. They might not even make it through winter. Oh, the baby. Yeah, I know, you say give me, They might not even make it through the winter. But if I take a little bit of time before I install them and do some preventative maintenance and hit them with a clear coat, and again, that Rust-Oleum clear coat, the automotive enamel clear coat, I've had good results with it. So what I've done here is some 220, because I started with the red scuff pad, which is about 320. It wasn't really biting in, so I hit it with 220 to get the good scuff going. Rubbed it down with 320, and this steel wool is a double-aught steel wool. I'm liking this stuff. It actually helped clean this stuff up, got a lot of the dust off, and it gives it a good fine polish. Oh, the baby is just so interested in all of this. I think she's going to try to sand. Yeah, you're going to try to sand? That's my girl. Look at you. Yep, gonna undo Daddy's work with the... Undoing Daddy's work with the steel wool. That's okay. Daddy will fix it in a second. That's my little garage helper. That's the way to raise children. Get them involved in the work. But this steel wool is actually... I like it. It's the first time I've ever tried using steel wool for this kind of an application, but it does help polish and clear up. This double-aught is billed as being a fine polish for metal type products, but for this plastic, it does pretty well at actually helping bring it down to a better level. But it does, everything here that I've done will give... Yes, baby, the phone's ringing again. She's hilarious. But it does give a good mechanical key for it to grip to. Now you can try spraying it without doing all this, and you'll watch the stuff peel off in a month or less. So you definitely want to actually scuff these things up, get them all nice and... Well, they're cloudy again, right? But it's not oxidized cloudy. It's actually the factory fresh plastic, nice and cloudy, nice and cleaned off. So I'm going to hit all these with some Windex. And what I like is this actually did clear that off. I can see some spots I might want to hit more with the other two. Clean it off with Windex, get it all dried off, and then I'll hit it with my clear coat. Okay, there we go. Whew, I'm choking on the fumes. I should have used my mask. I'm being an idiot. I mean, look at that. Clear coat's on, nice and wet. Good thick coat of it. And that'll keep this going. And they're just as pretty as they were before, but now they've actually got a UV protected automotive enamel clear coat. So I'll let these dry, and then we'll get this grill going again. Alright, so now that the clear coat, very, very thick, you can see it so thick that it was dripping off, but I put it on pretty thick. Now that it's dried, you can see a couple of my mistakes. And in here, the 220 grit, I did not erase those marks well enough with the 320 and the steel wool, so that's in there under the clear coat. Clear coat didn't cover that up. So you got to be dang sure when you do this that you've sanded everything down and polished it up to the level you want to when you're getting that scuffing that gives you the mechanical key. If you don't, you end up with that. Now, if that ends up bothering me, those scratches that I can see in there, I don't know which angle you guys will be able to see it on. I can in fact sand off all of the clear coat that's there and polish that down even smoother. Get back there with the 320 and the steel wool. It obviously worked over here pretty dang well. The rest of the light is just that spot I didn't get enough. This one I see very, very up close. I see very, very minor scratches from the 220 grit still in there. Otherwise, I think they're pretty freaking good, and I'm ready to reassemble. But with me, most rare commodity I have, the commodity in short supply, is always time. And so I got rushed, and that made that mistake. So learn from my mistakes. I can fix that someday if I want to, but that's more work that I shouldn't have had to do if I'd have just paid attention from the get-go. Alright, I may have just had a camera malfunction. Don't know what was going on, but to do these you do have to clearance these out, and I just used my little plunge saw to do that. You clearance this out to get these bigger ox beam bulbs in there. Factory bulbs will go in just fine, just straight, you'll be fine. But this is high beam, no excuse me, this is low beam to the outside, high beam to the inside. And HB3, HB4, go ahead and look up which one's which. The thing with them is you can see they're different on their actual engagement points, and that's how you'll be able to know which one fits where. You can't flop them because their triangulation tab things are different. So for things like this, I have a round file. You can see that. You want to be careful not to take off too much. You want to paint. If you take off too much, you won't get that good seal with that O-ring. Yeah, still needs a little more. Do a little bit test, do a little bit test. If it's stupid, it works. It ain't stupid. stand back. Stand back.
What is that?
There's water coming out.
Oh, your S10!
Yeah, I just made a drain hole. Was that crazy?
Oh!
Look out.
Oh!
It's all draining out. Ah, look what it's doing. Ah!
Get away from me!
Look how much water's in there.
I saw that.
Oh, it's crazy.
Why is it draining so hard?
There's lots of water in the tube. It's crazy, huh? Look how much water's in that tube. I think the whole thing's filled. Oh, it's crazy, huh, baby?
Yeah! It's like water draining down out of your truck.
It is, isn't it? That is a lot. I think they're full. Okay, that little mess is all because when I drilled for this, I had a hole right here. And snow would sit on this thing, it would melt all winter long and filled up this tube, which is hilarious. And I was getting these stains of this muddy stuff there, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. It wasn't the radiator, it wasn't anything internal to the truck, till I saw it bubbling out of here one day. And so, I drilled 2 drain holes on this thing. That should alleviate that problem until the day comes that I can actually build a new, better bumper. Yeah, kind of funny to get that kind of a mess. There's a lot of water in there. It's a lot. So, yeah, we'll get her cleaned up. But yeah, headlights all work. Everything looks that I wanted to. I'm noticing now with this style headlight, when you look at, well, let me grab the other side. With this style headlight, when you look at the size difference, and you look at that, with this being over under for high and low, and this being side by side, that takes up more space, and so now those KCs are in the way of the high beams. Well, when I do the new bumper, all of this will get rearranged. KCs probably won't even be up front here. I'll have LEDs up front, and then I'll probably put the KCs elsewhere. All these plans in my head. Someday I'll get them out. This one is a plan that is finally out of my head and in reality. Does that GMC with a Chevy badge over it look sloppy? Sure it does. Do I care right now? No, I don't. So don't even mention it. It is what it is for now. Someday later I'll fix it in some other way. That's one of the things I like about this grill is they basically mimicked a billet grill in here. I mean, that's all plastic, but yeah. Yeah, it'd be kind of hard to cut the whole GMC thing out because those plastic bars aren't there. But it could be done with a little bit of plastic welding and everything else and put it back. But my whole point is if I'm going to that kind of trouble, I'm highly likely to actually do steel in there, but we'll see. It'll run like this for quite some time. Again, I do like the Sonoma grill a lot better, so I'm much happier with it. So you come this far, appreciate you watching. Hope that gives you a little bit of an idea of what you're supposed to be doing to be able to get your, why is the baby crying? To get your grill switched out, your headlights switched out, all of that, and what you can do with these trucks. They're all basically the same platform, whether you go from the S10 that had that stupid little square light to the bigger Blazer to the more sleek Sonoma light. Alright, I gotta shut this video off and I gotta see what the baby's got going on. Appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.